the moment mutual contact ceases between an avoidant and their former partner. A psychological timeline begins unfolding with remarkable predictability. Both parties enter separate emotional journeys that follow distinct patterns, processing the loss at different speeds and through opposing mechanisms. Understanding this timeline reveals why avoidants often return precisely when their former partners have genuinely moved on, creating a tragic misalignment of emotional readiness that defines these relationship patterns. Week 1 to 3, the Great Divergence begins. In the initial weeks, both parties experience relief, but for completely different reasons. The former partner feels exhausted peace. The constant anxiety of wondering when the avoidant will withdraw next finally stops. Their nervous system begins recovering from the hypervigilance required to maintain connection with someone emotionally unpredictable. They sleep better, feel lighter, and start remembering who they were before becoming consumed by the relationship's instability. Meanwhile, the avoidant experiences triumphant relief. Their nervous system celebrates the absence of emotional pressure and perceived demands. They convince themselves they made the right choice, that they're better off alone, that the relationship was holding them back from their true independent self. They might even feel energized, pursuing activities and connections they felt the relationship prevented. This phase creates maximum emotional distance between both parties. Neither is thinking about reconciliation because both are too relieved by the absence of relationship stress to miss what was lost. Month 1 to 3, the internal shift accelerates. As weeks become months, the former partner's healing deepens into genuine transformation. They begin rediscovering their identity separate from the relationship, rebuilding self-worth that eroded during constant emotional uncertainty. They start feeling genuinely happy rather than just relieved. New possibilities emerge that seemed impossible while trapped in the avoidance push-pull dynamic. Their psychology moves from recovery into growth. They process their grief, understand their own patterns that kept them stuck, and develop clarity about what they actually need from partnership. Most critically, they stop thinking about the avoidant obsessively. Memories lose their emotional charge. The hope that kept them tethered finally releases its grip. Conversely, the avoidant's initial relief begins souring into something else. The novelty of freedom wears thin. They start noticing the silence more acutely. Small triggers, songs, places, random moments begin activating memories they thought they'd successfully compartmentalized. Their delayed emotional processing starts catching up, though they aggressively resist acknowledging it. Month 3 to 6, the role reversal completes. By this point, the former partner has often genuinely moved on. They've built new routines, formed new connections, and most importantly, stopped viewing the avoidant as someone they need or even particularly want in their life. Their nervous system has recalibrated to stability without the relationship's emotional chaos. The thought of returning to that pattern feels exhausting rather than tempting. Meanwhile, the avoidant reaches their breaking point. The accumulated weight of suppressed feelings finally overwhelms their defenses. They begin obsessing about their former partner with the same intensity their partner once obsessed about them. Every attempt to recreate that connection elsewhere fails. They compare everyone to what they lost and find them all lacking. Their psychology can no longer maintain the fiction that they're better off alone. The delayed grief hits with full force, bringing with it crushing awareness of what they destroyed through their own fear. They begin crafting reasons to reach out, checking their former partner's life obsessively, and fantasizing about reconciliation. The tragic misalignment, when they return. The cruelest aspect of this timeline is its perfect misalignment. When the avoidant finally processes their feelings and becomes ready to try again, their former partner has completed their own journey into indifference and growth. The avoidant returns with newfound vulnerability and readiness precisely when their former partner no longer needs or wants what they're finally prepared to offer. The avoidant encounters someone fundamentally changed, not angry or hurt, but genuinely disinterested in revisiting what caused them so much pain. This indifference devastates them more than any confrontation could because it confirms their worst fear. They've lost something irreplaceable through their own defensive patterns. The two possible endings. This timeline typically concludes in one of two ways. Either the former partner maintains their boundaries and the avoidant must face permanent loss, finally learning the lesson their nervous system resisted, that some connections cannot survive indefinite emotional unavailability. Or the former partner, seeing the avoidant's vulnerability, cautiously allows reconnection, though the relationship now operates under entirely different terms, where their needs must be consistently met or they'll walk away without hesitation.